Imagine you are a Turkish ambassador. The year is 1459. You have traveled for weeks across mountains and rivers to reach the castle of a prince in a small country called Wallachia. You arrive at his court. You bow, but you do not remove your turban. In your culture, you never remove it, not for anyone. The prince looks at you. He asks calmly why you have not removed your turban in his presence. You explain. It is your custom, your religion, your law. He nods. Then he calls his guards, and he orders them to nail your turban to your head with iron spikes. You are the lucky one. Your companions die on the spot. This was not an act of madness. This was a message. And the man who sent it was Vlad the Third, Prince of Wallachia, son of the dragon. The man history would call Vlad the Impaler. And this is his real story. To understand Vlad, you have to understand where he came from. Wallachia, 1431. A small, battered country squeezed between two of the most powerful forces in the medieval world. The Ottoman Empire to the south and the Kingdom of Hungary to the north. Both wanted Wallachia. Both used it as a battlefield. And the princes of Wallachia spent their entire lives trying not to be destroyed by either side. Vlad's father was a member of a secret order of knights called the Order of the Dragon, created by the Holy Roman Emperor himself to defend Christian Europe against the Ottomans. In Romanian, dragon is Dracul. So Vlad's father was Vlad Dracula, Vlad the Dragon, and his son became Vlad Dracula, son of the dragon. When Vlad was 11 years old, his father made a decision that would shape everything that came after. To maintain peace with the Ottomans, he sent his two youngest sons as political hostages to the Sultan's court. Vlad was 11. His brother Radu was 7. They would spend the next 4 years as prisoners of the most powerful empire in the known world. The Ottomans were not cruel to them, not exactly. They were educated, taught military strategy, philosophy, multiple languages. But they were also watched, controlled, used as leverage over their father. And every single day they knew that if their father made one wrong move, they would be executed. Radu adapted. He learned to love the Ottoman court. He converted. He became a favorite of the Sultan's son. He chose survival through submission. Vlad chose something different. He watched. He studied. He learned every Ottoman military strategy, every weakness, every pressure point. And he waited. In 1447, Vlad's father was assassinated, betrayed and murdered by the boyars, the noble class of Wallachia, who had always seen the Dracul family as a threat to their own power. Vlad's older brother Mircea was buried alive by the same men. Vlad was 16 years old. He had lost his father, his brother, his country, and he was still a prisoner. When the Ottomans finally released him, he had nothing. No army, no allies, no throne. But he had 4 years of Ottoman military training, a burning memory of every face that had betrayed his family, and a patience that most men never develop in an entire lifetime. In 1456, with Ottoman support on one side and enough backing on the other, Vlad seized the throne of Wallachia. He was 24 years old, and the first thing he did was host a dinner party. He invited every boyar who had been present the night his father was murdered, every noble who had looked the other way when his brother was buried alive. They came, because refusing the prince's invitation was not something anyone did. The dinner was elegant. The food was excellent. The wine flowed freely. And when it was over, Vlad stood up and looked at his guests. He asked the older boyars how many princes they had seen come and go in their lifetimes. They answered honestly. Some said 10. Some said more. Vlad nodded. Then he had every single one of them arrested. The older nobles were impaled on the spot. The younger ones were marched to the ruins of an old fortress in the mountains and forced to build it back up with their own hands. Many died during construction. Those who survived built Vlad his castle, Poenari Castle. It still stands today. Impalement was not invented by Vlad. It had been used by the Ottomans, the Persians, the Romans. But Vlad refined it into something else entirely, something systematic, designed not just to kill, but to terrorize. He impaled entire armies. In 1461, when the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II marched into Wallachia with an army of over 90,000 soldiers, he encountered something that stopped him completely. Outside Vlad's capital, the Sultan found a forest, not of trees. Over 20,000 Ottoman prisoners and enemies, impaled in precise geometric patterns, stretching for miles. The Sultan, a man who had never retreated from any battlefield, turned his army around. He wrote in his diary that he could not conquer a land ruled by a man capable of such things. The forest of the impaled had defeated the greatest army in the world without a single battle. But here is what the history books almost never tell you. Inside Wallachia, Vlad was not seen as a monster. He was seen as a savior. Before Vlad, the boyar class had made life nearly impossible for ordinary people. Corruption was absolute. Crime was rampant. The roads were dangerous. The poor had no protection. Vlad changed this with the same method he used for everything else: total, merciless enforcement. He placed a golden cup at the main fountain of his capital city and announced that anyone could drink from it. It was never stolen. Not once in his entire reign. Merchants traveled freely. Contracts were honored. The roads became safe. He was brutal to the corrupt, the dishonest, the disloyal. And the common people, the farmers, the craftsmen, the poor, they loved him for it. Vlad ruled, lost his throne, fought to reclaim it, was imprisoned for 12 years, and in 1476 retook the throne of Wallachia for the third time. He held it for 2 months. In December of 1476, he was killed in battle. Some say he was betrayed by his own men. Some say he was mistaken for an enemy in the chaos of combat. His head was sent to Constantinople, where the Sultan displayed it on a spike to prove that Vlad Dracula was finally dead. His body was buried at a monastery on an island in a lake called Snagov. When archaeologists opened the tomb in 1931, it was empty. 400 years after his death, an Irish writer named Bram Stoker was researching Eastern European folklore. He found a name: Dracula. He kept it. He changed almost everything else. The vampire, the castle, the immortality, all fiction. But the name, the darkness, the sense that this man existed somewhere on the edge of what a human being could be, that part was true. Vlad Dracula was real. And the truth, as you now know, is far stranger, far darker, and far more human than any legend. This is the Forgotten Files. True history that nobody taught you. If this story kept you watching, the next file is already waiting for you. Subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.